All right. Please, let's continue, please. I believe we all have it installed now. Let's look at introduction to Power BI. Introduction to Power BI. Let's start with the definition. What is Power BI? What is Power BI? Power BI is a business analytics service. Power BI is a business analytics service developed by Microsoft. Developed by Microsoft. Developed by Microsoft that allows you to create interactive that allows you to create interactive that allows you to create interactive visualizations that allows you to create interactive visualizations. Just follow this definition I'm giving you now. And business intelligence reports. And business intelligence reports. So let's look at just paragraph there. It enables users to connect to various data sources. It enables users to connect to various data sources, transform and analyze data. Transform and analyze data. And creates interactive dashboards and reports. And creates interactive dashboards and reports. So if you look at the key functions of this application developed by Microsoft, as we have mentioned in that note, they are: one, with Power BI, we can connect different data sources or gateways. Another strength of this application is that you can transform data. Now, what we call data transformation here is what we recognize as data cleaning in Python and other programs. So data transformation here represents what? Data cleaning. So which means that it is also very good at cleaning data. It's one of the tools you can use to also do that. Then there is another one that I mentioned there, which is I mentioned visualization. I mentioned visualization as one of the key reasons why we should consider this platform as one of the tools for analyzing data. Now, as far as the other program we have learned so far, like the advanced Excel and the Python, Power BI is one of the best when it comes to visualization. Now, what do we mean by visualization? I believe I must have explained it before, but in case you were not there when I explained it, the term visualization in data analytics does not only represent graph, because sometimes once we hear that word visualization, what comes to our mind is graph. It's beyond graph. Graph is one of the models. So the proper definition of visualization is a model used, a model used for presenting insights. Model or models used for presenting insights. So that is the simple meaning of the word visualization. So it now depends on which type of model or which type of what visualization do you want to use to present your findings? What are these findings we are talking about? Can anybody help us with what we refer to as insights in data analysis? What are insights? In this field, when the word or the term insight is used, what does it denote in data analytics field? That is what I'm asking. The what? The changes. Can we really say the changes? Do we agree with that? The facts, right? The facts. Let me not totally agree with that. Can anybody give us more active definition? Because we need to understand it. And we ought to have understood that. What do we mean by insights in this field of data analytics or machine learning? Remember that we said that one of our responsibility as data analysts is to draw what? Is to identify, or let me put it this way, is to apply different techniques, right? To draw what? Insight from a given what? Data set, which could be used or will be used to make what? Smart decisions. And I told us from a cell, if you were with me in a cell, I said that a data analyst should be hunting for 3 things. So whenever you are given data, you are looking for 3 things. And if you cannot find 2, which is like an average, you have not done anything. So what are the things that you hunt for once you are given the data? Is that the question I'm asking? What are these 3 things that we hunt for as data analysts? Because, see, you need to understand that there's a reason why you are involved. Do you think that the organization that gives you the data does not really understand the data? Or why do you think that they own the data? Instead of them to use the data to make their decision, they decided to leave their knowledge on that data and consult you. Why? That is what I'm asking. What did they feel that you can see? What did they feel that you can bring out from that data that makes them to give it to you? Good pattern and thread. You have the technicality. You know the technical know-how on how to what? To apply some techniques, some models to identify what? The pattern, the trend, and the what? The outlier, right? Which will lead to what? Presenting what? Your insights. And that's where I'm going to. So which means that you must have deployed some techniques before you can arrive at what? The insight. The insight in this case is like what you saw that they could not what? See, that you have summarized as your executive what? Reports. I don't know if I've told all this before, that your stakeholders don't have business in seeing your Power BI interface. Hope you know that. It's not their business. They don't have business in seeing your Excel what? Spreadsheet. They don't even have, in fact, that one, they don't even want to see Python interface. That one will scare them. So what do you think you're going to present? If you are not going to present your Excel interface, and you are not going to present your Python interface, you are not going to present your Power BI dashboard, what are you going to present that will help them to make decisions? I'm asking. Summary. Where do you get the summary from? From where? Pi is 70 over 100. 70 over 100 also. Where do you get this summary from? Have you forgotten that they gave you that data? You have already applied your techniques and you have already generated what? Some reports. So where do you get the insight from? Is it from the data at this point? What you will use to summarize your findings? Is it from the data? From where? From the reports. Now, this is where we are going. Let's connect it to what led to that explanation. What is explanation, right? Now, that report that report is going to be a container, a structure that you are using to present it, right? That is where visualization comes from. So we have, right, types of data insights visualization. Let's write that. Types of data what? Insight presentation visualization. I just want to add that presentation so that you understand the role of it. Types of insight presentation visualization. Good. Types of insights presentation visualization. Let's leave the data now. We have explored the data and we have gotten what? Our facts, right? And there's something is holding them for us. Right. In the field of data analytics, there are only two models that can be used to present insights. There are only two models that can be used to present what? Models, yes, models. There are only two models that can be used to present insights. And what are these models? One, tabular what? Model. One, tabular model. So quickly, what is a tabular model before we get the other one? A tabular model is a two-dimensional structure. A tabular model is a two-dimensional structure that allows you to present your insights in vertical axis and what? Horizontal axis. Structure that allows you to present your insight in Y and what? S axis. That is why we said two-dimensional structure. Am I communicating? All right. Now, let's look at the disadvantages of using this model quickly before we bring in the second model. So that the disadvantages of using this model to present insights or for insight presentation. Right. Though it is used for categorical data presentation, it is used for categorical data presentation, but it makes it difficult to identify trend. It makes it difficult to identify trend and patterns. It makes it difficult to identify trends and patterns. It makes it difficult to identify what? Trends and what? Pattern. Now, let's look at the second model, which is graphical model. Graphical model, quickly. That is the second one. Graphical model.
A graphical model is a pictorial representation of the tabular model data. A graphical model is a pictorial representation of the tabular model data. So what is the advantage of using this? What is the advantage of using this model? What is the advantage? The advantage is that you can easily identify trends. You can easily identify trends. Advantages. You can easily identify what? Trends, patterns, and outliers or correlation. You can easily identify trends, patterns, and outliers or correlation. So which one do you think as a data analyst you should always use to back up your? So if you look at my definition now, it then means that you can even have both of them, right? Hello, you can have both of them because you cannot have the graphical model without what? The tabular model. It is the value, the metric in the tabular model that you are finding difficult to what? Identify what? The trend that you now decide to what? To represent them with what? The graphical what? Model. Exactly. So that is the strength of what? Power BI, which is what? Data what? Visualization. So that is why, as a data analyst, if you are going to seek for a remote job, let me tell you the reason why you cannot have. If you learn other ones that you don't learn this, you won't get a remote job. Yes, because there are, depend on the remote job anyway, but most of the remote job that we have today, they are live remote job. Remote job that the company that engage you want to be see what you are doing, even when they are not in the same location with you. So they want you to, they will create a kind of virtual what? Network. There are applications today that can capture individual what? Laptop, desktop, or environment that can assemble the, just like, I don't know what I can use to, like a CCTV camera, right? CCTV camera, if you enter offices where they use this, the person that is monitoring it, if you check the person monitor, all the what? The different offices, the cameras that are positioned there have a screen represented on what? The what's it called? The monitoring what? Monitor. So that is how it works. So even when they engage you, whatever you are doing from your own location, they are viewing you from their own screen. And when we talk about live analysis, that is why we're going to talk about what? The different series or types of what? Power BI. There's a reason why I said you should download what? Power BI desktop, because there is another one. And you cannot use that one now, but you need to have an idea of what it represents. So Power BI has a lot of inbuilt visualizations. Now you understand what I mean now. Which means that what? Different models. Some are tabular what? Model. Some are what? Graphical what? Model. That you can easily use to present your what? Insights. That is what we are saying. So let's quickly look at what? Power BI window. Quickly. Power BI windows. Power BI window. Now, what do we mean by window in computing generally? Window is simply an environment. Simple. And what? An environment or the user interface of an application. So when we say Power BI window, we are talking about what? Familiarizing ourselves with what? The user interface of Power BI. So let me just switch to, since we all open the application, to make sure that you are on this environment, because at some point I'll be switching here. Once I describe any of the components, I will come here and confirm it. Now, this is Power BI what? Get started. Even in Microsoft Office, we have an equivalent interface like this. That is what? A preliminary what? Interface. An interface you get first, where you can determine where the kind of environment you want to exploit. So which also means that what? An application, or which means that this application has different what? Interface. That is the reason why they did not prompt you to the what? To the main environment or to one of them by default. So they provide you an opportunity to do what? To choose. And that is why I said this environment is what? Get started what? Environment. So this is where you can get started. So from here, where do you go from here? You click on blank what? Reports. And that will bring us to this properly. I believe you are doing that also as you are listening, because I want us to be verifying this together. Good. So this is your what? Your main environment. So now let's go back to my slide and look at that. Power BI, now you can now write now. Power BI is a business intelligence and data what? Visualization tool developed by Microsoft. If you have written this, you can skip this one. It provides user what? Friendly interface that allows users to create what? Interactive report and dashboard. I deliberately highlighted what? Interactive report and what? Dashboard. Because if you cannot do this in Power BI as a data analyst, you have not learned Power BI. In fact, when they want to engage you, they will ask you this question. If you claim you know Power BI, can you use Power BI to create what? Interactive what? Reports? Second question we say, can you create what? A dashboard? That is where you start from. That is where you start from. So we have the first part called what? The title bar. So let me quickly switch and show all the title bar. This is what? The title bar. Are you following? Where you have on title, I believe you can see it. You can see on title, followed by what? Power BI desktop. And then by your right hand side, you will see the control buttons, which at this point, I don't have to start explaining it because you have graduated from Excel. You know what this button does, right? Good. So that is the session I am referring to as what? The title what? Bar. So what is the responsibility of that section? The title bar is located at the top of the Power BI, just like I just showed us now, window, and display the name of the currently what? Opened report file. It also includes the standard minimize, maximize, and close button. So I've summarized everything that I just showed us there now. Are we together? So that is, now, let me quickly go back and show us how to save. Now, look up, because right now, why is this section displaying what? On title? Because you have not saved your dashboard. Please, the whole of this environment is called what? Dashboard, where you have this dotted line, the whole of this part. That is where you are going to compile all your reports, all your interactive what? Reports. Just like pivot what? Table that we learned in what? In Excel. That we inserted a slicer. Do you remember? That we were using to regulate all the reports. So the same thing here. So now, how do I save my dashboard so that we can see how this untitled will change to what? A more descriptive what? Name. So how do you save here? You go to File, then you select what? Save As. Go to File, select Save As. So from Save As, look up, Power BI has only one directory. You know, if you are saving in Excel, you will see desktop. You will see other places, but as far as this program is concerned, the document is the directory that has what program with it as a default what directory. So now you select, once you click here, you come to where you are asked to enter what? Your file name. Now you can see that your save is not active because what? It must receive what? A name. So let's say I'm saving what? First class. This reminds me because I will always continue with this dashboard. Now, there is what we call file extension on every program. If you are using Excel, you can tell us Excel file extension. Eh? Good. X. No, there's no X, L, X, S, right? Now, what is the file extension of Python? PY, right? Now, what is the file extension of Power BI? Look at it here. Good. Now, the reason why I'm explaining this, let's assume that after your analysis in Python and Excel and Power BI, you now save all your file in one folder in your flash drive. So mere looking at the file extension, you know which one you did in what? In Power BI, and which one you did in what? In Python. That's why it's very important you understand the program what? Extension. So I click on, now if you click here, now we have other extension you can use. It's not just that default one. So you have the privilege of using what? Power BI what? I. So all these options, I believe you are also confirming this with me. Now you select save. Now once I click on save, so if I want to copy this file now, look up. Let's assume that you started a project here, and you could not finish it. And you are traveling. And where you are traveling to, you'll be given another system there that they must have installed what? Power BI, right? And you want to save this file in your flash drive. Where will you go? You go to what? You open your file what? Explorer, right? And then you go to where? Document what? Directory. So from here, you should see the name of that Power BI you saved. Now look at it here. Class what? Work. You simply right click and copy, go to your flash drive and save. Now when you get to the other system, what do? You open Power BI. In fact, just double click on that what? File from your flash drive. Or if you have dropped it maybe somewhere else like desktop or what? Document. Double click on it. In as much Power BI as app has been installed on that system, it will automatically what? Open what? Here like this. Whatever you have done will now be what? Available here. Is that clear? Did you understand that? Good. Okay, now let me go back to my slide. So now let's go to where we were seeing on title. What are we seeing there now? The name of my file. Your own is not showing there. What is it showing? No, that means you have not done the right thing. Click on file. Click on file. We have typed the name. Click on save. Yes, click on save. There. What is it saying? Yes, that means what it exists. Click. Now click on close. Unable to save to document. What does it say? There is configuration issue. Something is wrong with your system directory setting. Okay, let me just continue. We'll verify that later. Now let's continue. Don't worry. Once you restart the system, I believe everything will be okay. So now click on the document. You know, this is look at it. What is the meaning of that BI? So the AI here, compared to the AI you have in Excel, they are not mates. So everything is very sensitive. So now let's move to the next one. So the next window is what? Welcome screen / home screen. Welcome screen. Okay, you are not seeing my. What happened? You are still writing notes on title bar. I've gone past there now. I thought you have. You are still writing? Yeah, quickly. Can we proceed now? So let's quickly look at another section. which is what? Welcome screen / what? Home screen. That was the place we were when we selected what? Blank. If I've selected that one that was in the cycle, that one that have a lot of icon on it. So let's see if we can go back there, but let's take the note first. So the first time Power BI desktop starts, it displays the welcome what? Screen. From welcome screen, you can get data, see recent sources, open recent reports, open other reports, or select other links. And this is the kind of interface we're talking about. Are we together? Now, let's quickly go back to the application and see if we can identify it. So if I go back to File and select what? Can you see this environment now? So if I click here now, the content is what? View on web. So, but what we are saying is that if you open Power BI for the first time, you are going to what? See this, depending on how it opens. You will definitely come across that environment. But right now, let's see this as what? The welcome interview. Remember that it was from here that we now click on what? Blank what? Document or blank report. So let me go back to the slide and quickly go to the next component. Now, this is the next component. I have diagrammatically explained it. So Power BI what? User interface ribbon. So let's quickly write so that I can go there and show us Power BI user what? Interface ribbons. All the way from Excel, I believe we must have discussed what are ribbons. Where you have all those tabs like home, file, inserts, modeling. They are called what? Ribbon tabs. Let's say ribbons. Under ribbons, the whole of the container that is enclosing that part where you have the list of your menus. It is called what? Ribbons. So the ribbon in Power BI is a key element of the user interface that provides a centralized set of tools and commands organized into tabs and groups. So it offers quick access to various features and options, allowing you to perform different tasks and actions while designing and working with your reports and visualizations. Is it better this way? Just increase this one. All right. Now, so the next one is the home. So all these are, this is where we are taking now. Let me just take us back to the program and explain those things that I was talking about. So these are the ribbons. The whole of this. So we are taking them one after the other. We just want to explain what a user can actually access under each of these ribbons. So I'm starting with what? Home in my slide. Then we have what? Insight. We have what? Modeling. We have what? View. We have optimize. And then we have what? Head. So the whole of this section now, the whole of this section is the what? The ribbon. So let's go back to the slide. So let's quickly run through them one after the other, starting with the home tab. So the home tab in the ribbon contains a set of commonly used commands for managing your reports, so you know how you can actually allocate your focus. So most of the features you are going to use, they are under what? Home. When it comes to managing your reports, managing your data, managing your visualizations. So as we can see here, look at it here. It's under home that you have what? Data. Under home, you have all these important what? Features. So let me just go there so that, now let me explain two of them at once and give us time to write. So on this slide, I'm explaining what? Two tabs in the report. The home. So what are other things we can access there? It includes options to save, open, and close what? Report, as well as what? Undo and redo action. Additionally, you can access options to manage data source, like that get data that I showed us the other time, refresh data, and apply data what? Transformation, using what? Query editor. So in Power BI, we have about 4 pillars, as in 4 structures that holds this application. One is what? Power BI query. One is Power BI view. And one is Power BI what? DAS. That's what? Data analytics what? Expression. That is the programming language that's used. So out of this, the Power BI query is the one that is in charge of transforming your data. That's what? Data cleaning. That will be in our next class. Make sure you don't miss that class, I beg you. Because I will start the data cleaning and finish it in that class. Because data cleaning here is very, very exciting compared to other places. It's one of the strengths of this program. You can easily what? Clean up your data using that component that I mentioned as what? Power BI what? Query. So that is what it's referring to. So its environment is what is referred to as what? Query what? Editor. Because it's allowed to edit the data. Then we also have inserts. The insert tab provides commands to add new elements and objects to your report. Canvas. You can use this tab to insert various what? Visualization, such as what? Charts, tables, matrices, cards, images, and shapes. It also includes options to add text boxes, buttons, and other interactive elements to enhance functionality of your report. All this we are going to do their practical. So let me give us some time to write the notes, and then I'll then go back and explain. Now, let's quickly go back to the application and identify some of these. I think I've already explained. So if you go to inserts, so these are the key features we are talking about that you can also access via the what? The inserts tab. You can see what? New visualization. You have more visualization. Now, all this visualization, look up, all this visualization, this graph now, ordinarily there are things, look at them, most of them have been assembled here. So these are the models we're talking about. So there are a lot of models. There is no way you say that you don't have any model to present your insights. So where you are short of model here, you have the privilege of what? Inserting more through the what? The insert tab. So you can come to what? More visual. And then maybe you have a particular application. Don't forget, we said something that one of the advantages of this application is that it can connect to what? different what? Data what? Sources or gateway. Think of any cloud storage you know today. From Power BI, you can connect to it once you have the login details. So this is the reason why I said it is mostly used for remote work now. Because the company will have their data in their website. They will tell you to link, look at what they will have done before you come. And that will have been put in place by their chief what? Analyst. Because those of you that they are employing from different locations, you are not the chief what? Analyst. The person that will be reporting physically is different from those that will what? Creating the reports. So the reports that individuals from different locations must have put together, that chief analyst will now go there and draw what? Conclusions. So you guys are like his hands. He's not the one using as in creating the report. The report you have created, the dashboard you are working on is live. As you are creating your dashboard, he's viewing it from his office. So he will just be what? Studying the report and be noting what? All the points and assemble them and go and physically what? Tender it to what? To the CEO. So that's the reason why I say remote job. Somebody can, it's not as if you be the chief, though depend on the what? The company. They must get one person that is working what? Physically with them. That will be putting all your report together and presenting it during their what? Stakeholder meetings or admin meetings. So I'm trying to qualify some of those things that I mentioned there. So most of these features that you have here, all these visualization, they are here. For example, now, look at this one now. It's called what? Decomposition tree. Look at it here. So it's either you assess them through what? The visualization section, or you go through what? The insights. Now, this is a frame and it's empty because it has not received what? Data. So in our next class, you see how we add data, and then this graph will now start representing what? Real values. So how do I delete it? Just click on this where you have those three words dotted or dots. Just click on what? Remove. So in case you add a frame and you want to remove it, that is how you simply what? Delete it. So let's go back to our slide quickly because I want to make sure that I conclude this introduction aspect today. So the next tab, remember that we are still explaining the element of the ribbon, right? We are taking the tabs one after the other for us to have an idea of what we have in there. So under modeling, modeling tab is focused on what? Look at the keyword there. It's focused on what? Now let's go there, please. A second. The other time I was asking us that what is what? Now look up, please pay attention here because you are going to answer some questions. It's good we understand these terms. Today you are hearing machine learning, right? Machine learning are people who will develop model. Let me show you so that you know where. People who, you know, these are model. These are pre-designed what? Model. Who created this model? Who created this model? Please answer me. AI. Do you know that somebody took time to write code that generated this model? You are only used because they gave you an user interface. So we have no, how do I put it? We have no business in looking at the code. But those that are learning machine learning, they are the ones that are using Python to program model, to design model that can be used what? For data what? Prediction. But these are models created by Microsoft. When I say what? Power BI is what? An application developed by Microsoft Corporation. The same person that developed Microsoft Excel you are using, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, is the same person that created this app. And he created this app strictly for business what? Analytics. How many of us know that that is a course on its own? Yes. that you can study in school for 5 years? I don't know. Say 5K. If you go to, what is the average year you spend in university in Nigeria? Mr. Kevin, how many years do you strike and all those things. Let's say, okay, let's say 4. Okay, let's say 4. Let's say 4. The normal standard, like let's say 3 years. Now, so what you are learning now is the technical aspect of it. Because the educational aspect of it, most, look at it now, they can teach you, they can generate notes that you learn for first semester just for these two visualization. In your school, the whole of first semester, they just will give you theory on those two things. The next semester. But technical wise, we have to cut off all those plenty word story and hit the nail on the head. Because we are result-oriented trained personnel, not exam, people that are trained to write exams. So now, I just want us to understand that. So let me go back to my slide. So I mentioned modeling. But I was going somewhere. I talk about models for presenting your insights, right? Now, what is modeling? What is that data modeling? Is it blueprints of we are very grammar? If we are saying that model is a structure, right? Used for presenting. In other words, it holds your your insight, right? Then when you say data modeling, is it not the process of developing those models for presenting your insight is what? Modeling. To mold, to structure. So what are all these things? What are all these things? They are models. They are models. Now, look up. The process of using them to analyze your data is what? Modeling. You are modeling the reports. That is what you are drawing insight using them from the data. So let's look at another tab we can also find here is the view. The view tabs allow you to customize the display and layout of your reports, Canvas. Now I think I need to go back there after this explanation to tell us to show us what is Canvas because we use it in the other explanation. It offers option to zoom in and zoom out when we start analyzing now. Some of you will be saying that that space is too small. So this is where you will now be able to in case you want to see the values better. Zoom in and zoom out. Fits the report to the current window. If for any reason you are having a kind of overflow, you are not able to contain the whole report, then you can use your view tab. There's a command there that can fit it and show or hide various elements, such as the grid lines, visual headers, and backgrounds. You can also switch between different views, including the report view and data view. Please just come in for a second. Now that I have the insight, let me just quickly explain it. Look up. This is what I said it includes. Let me go to, this is a tab we're talking about now. Look up. This is a tab. This tab. This is the canvas. Please. The whole of this, your working environment, which represents your dashboard, is the what? The canvas. It's the canvas. Now I can change the color from that from that white to another color through the view. Now, the reason is the idea is that white is over-radiating on your report, that you are not able to focus on the The report. So you darken the what? The background, so that what? You can focus on the what? The report. Now, I also mentioned what? Fitting, right? So now this is what the actual what? Let's look at actual view. You see that what? The presentation have changed. So if I go back there now and select what? Fit to page, you see what happened now? So if your report has gone in before, as you selected this option now, what will happen? Everything will come out what? From inside. That is the zoom in and what? Zoom out. Now, another good news about this is that in Excel does not have mobile view. Power BI have mobile view. Now, this is how it works because it's live. We have Power BI desktop and Power BI service. Power BI service is the real-time version. The one that you must pay for is not an open source. This one is free. Did you pay any money? So this one was actually developed for you and I to master the environment. The environment are the same. The only difference is that one, you cannot share, you cannot collaborate. This one, I cannot share what I'm doing with you. But the company that will engage you must have purchased what? Power BI service, which has the same environment like this that can allow you to collaborate. That is what? That can allow them to view whatever you are doing because they will give you login detail. They must have purchased what? Quota on the cloud. So they will give you what? They will create account there and give you login detail. Once you log in, just like Zoom, once you log in, the person, the host is you. So whatever you are doing on your system, the person will be seeing it. But this desktop version cannot do that. But we are given this one to have that experience. The same visualization you have there, you also have here. But the only thing is that if I come towards my optimize now under my home, let me see, under my file, I cannot share. I cannot use this what? This function. Can you see it? I cannot use it. Because once I click here, it's going to what? Nowhere. The version I'm using, I am not linked up. So look at it. It's asking me to do what? Enter your what? Email address. Now, that particular Power BI service, they will have created an account and make you to log in with your what? Email. So once you enter your email, then you see your colleagues there. But this one, you don't have it. So let's go back to the view. I still want to explore more options there. In Excel, we have grid. You can see that what? Can you see this grid? Just like lines, right? Snap grid. As you are clicking, I think I have to change back to that white background to know if I would what to see some of this effect. So I've used this. So you can turn on this and turn off what is if they apply to your own condition. Now this is where I'm going. Look at the mobile view. If it is that Power BI service, your boss, the chief what? Analyst, he does not need to what? To have a laptop before he knows what is happening anywhere. He can just use his phone to log into what? To the Power BI what? Portal. And then, because he's assessing what you guys are doing with laptop on phone, he may not be able to use what? Laptop view. He will not switch to what? Mobile view. So that is one of the advantages of this mobile view. If we have created a report now, everything will be contrasted to what? To this mobile view. So this is what we call what? Responsiveness. Responsiveness. Ability of your report to display across what? Different what? Devices. So which means that what? Your Power BI report can display on a mobile device and also what? On a laptop device. So I can go back to my laptop view by just selecting it. But if, sir, I don't want to go through this view, what are the icon, the shortcut icon that have been created for me to change my view? Look up here. Can you see this? This was laptop view. Then if you click on this mobile now, so that is, if I don't want to go to view before I can access it, the shortcut is what? Right here. Exactly. So now I believe I have qualified all the grammar that I do here. So now let me go to the next one. Have you not written this? Okay, we are right. We are right. I was writing. All right, so let's quickly round up with the remaining aspect of that, the ribbon section. We have the optimize. The optimize tab is used to customize the appearance and formatting of your visualizations and report elements such as pause, visuals, refresh visuals, optimization, presence, performance analyzer, apply all slicer. Then we have the help, of course, in case you need any assistance from Power BI, that will link you to their official website. So let's quickly look at the next one. Expand and what? Collapse pane. This one is very important. We need to understand how this session works. I'm going to explain it. Expand and collapse pane. I'm about standing up now. Expand and collapse pane. You can expand and collapse the filter. Those three items that I bolded, you can expand and collapse the filters, the visualization, and field pan or page by selecting the arrow at the top of the page. So just a second, let me just quickly confirm that. Look at it here. This is it here. This is what? This is expansion for what? Filter, right? If I click again, I've collapsed it, right? Then I can also what? Collapse what? Visualization. And also what? Expand it. I can expand what? Data. In the next class, we will load our data here. So once we load the data here, now right now, our data pane is what? Empty. So that's why I advise, please, God helping you, make sure you don't miss that class. Yes, Thursday, please. So I'm going to do a letter. And I'm starting by 9 on the dot. It's Victory that delayed me today. I have to go and on the gym by 9. He was busy in delaying me. Please, now on the dot. This class, now me and you. And I want shoot me, so I want rush shoot on. Let's go. Mr. Kevin, you understand it. I won't play safe game. Mr. Kevin, you understand the shooting, I mean? Because today will go and tell admin that we don't know yet after the training. No.
It's not after their SQL.
Okay, so in the second one, I think this should be second to the last for today's section. So good. Now, if you like, you write this, but this is data pane. What I'm trying to explain here is this. Look up. I'm trying to highlight the three different word pane. We have the filter, we have visualization, we have what? The data. That is what I'm trying to explain here. So that you know their role. The data pane is located on what? The right side of the report view. Below the what? The visualization. Let me say behind. I don't think it's below. Yes, it's below actually, because why you say why the word below is correct. Once we start adding data now, the data will be applied here. You understand? The data will be showing here. That is also what below it. Because here we are going to be dragging the headers in the data set. As we are dragging them, they will be entering here. So this is just like data sets. But the data you are using for your analysis will be here. So that is the meaning of that news. Then, of course, the visualization is also there. And then the last one is what? This is where I'm visualizing the three of them and explaining them better. This was visual pan, this was data pan, and this was data pan. And that brings us to the end of this session. See us next. You're welcome.